Will a tube help with holographic imaging? John in Atlantic Heights, New Jersey wants to know, and he writes to me, Paul, a question. I keep hearing about holographic imaging when it comes to tubes, specifically in the preamplifier. I love my Parasound Halo integrated. If I kept the Parasound and inserted a vacuum tube phono preamp in the mix, will I experience what I'm looking for? Or do the tubes only perform their magic in the preamp section of an amplifier? That's a pretty good question. And it's not such a clear, good answer. I mean, one might ask, that's what we're talking about. See that guy? Isn't that just a cool little tube? Yep, a vacuum tube. And now I got to get it back in here. Let's see if I can do that. Oh, goodness. You know what's neat about vacuum tubes? Unlike transistors and things, you can just put different vacuum tubes, if you can see what you're doing. There you go. So vacuum tubes all sound different. I mean, this 12AX7 in here or a 12AU7 from different companies and different brands. Tubes are fun because you can swap as long as they're the same, grid voltage and all of that. And they give you completely different sounds. And it's really hard to do something like that with just transistors. Yes, you can, but they bias different, all that kind of stuff. So specifically to answer his question, yes and no. Yes, the vacuum tube is going to give you, I don't know about a more holographic sound. It's going to give you a sweeter, more open sound than most transistors, but not all. So it's really hard to categorize it. It's like saying this kind of person always does that, or my old adage that Subaru drivers are always overly cautious and they're always holding me up on the road. I mean, those general categorizations are probably mostly not true. They're just things that we observe. But in general, tubes have a warmth to them, and if they're in the right place as a voltage amplifier, not as an output stage, which is what you're talking about, yeah, generally you'll get just a more musical open sound, which is why we use them in our preamps, in the voltage gain stages of our amplifiers. They're just more musical, better. I don't know about what people generally try and do, mix and match. Yes, because it can work. I don't know what kind of phono preamp you have right now. I mean, there are tube-based phono preamplifiers out there that aren't very good. And compare that to our all-solid state stellar phono stage. The stellar phono stage kicks its ass. Upside down, every which way to Sunday. Just does. It's one of the best in the world. Doesn't have a tube in it. So a lot of it has to do with how it's designed, how you voice it. And so these questions are just so general that it's hard. But in general, if you switch from a solid state preamp to a vacuum tube based preamp, you will get a more musical, sometimes holographic soundstage. And we can talk more about holographic sound stages, which has more to do with the loudspeakers and setup than the equipment that's driving it. But that's for another story. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye.